ஹலோ வீடியோ ஆன் பண்ணிக்கோங்க.
ஓகே. கேக்குதா?
கேக்குது. வீடியோ மட்டும் ஆன் பண்ணுங்க.
ஆன் பண்ணிட்டேன்.
லைட் நீங்க சரியா இல்ல, லைட் திரும்பி உட்காரணும்.
இப்போ
இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் டார்க்கா தான் இருக்கு, ஃபேஸ் டார்க்கா இருக்கு. ராம்குமார் வீடியோ ஆன் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. ஹலோ, நவீன் எந்த ஐடியில இருந்து வராரு? ராம், ராம் நீங்க கேக்குறீங்க? கேக்குது, வீடியோ வரல.
ஹலோ,
கேக்குது, வீடியோ வரல.
வீடியோ ஆன் ஆக மாட்டேங்குது.
அது எப்படி ஆன் ஆகுது? அவருக்கு இதே தான் பண்ணாரு அவரு. பாருங்க, இப்ப பாருங்க. நாகராஜன் வரலையே ஒன்னும். நாகராஜன் அவரு என்னோட ஐடியில வந்திருப்பாரு உள்ள. நாகராஜன் சார், ஹலோ பண்ணிடலாமா? என்ன பண்றது, யாரும் வரவே இல்லையே இன்னும். இவங்க 2 பேர் வரலையே ஒன்னும்.
நாகராஜன் வந்தது அவங்க 2 பேரும் இன்வைட் பண்ணுங்க.
நாகராஜன் என்னோட இதுல இருந்து தான் வராரு. அவங்க 2 பேரும் இல்ல. அவங்க 2 பேரும் எந்த ஐடியில வராங்கன்னு தெரியலையே.
வீடியோ கிளியரா இருக்கா?
வீடியோ கிளியரா தான் இருக்கு. இருங்க. ராம்,
ஹலோ
ராம். ஹலோ ராம்.
கேக்குதா?
கேக்குது நல்லா. அது விடுங்க, நான் தான் அது விடுங்க, அது எக்ஸ்ட்ரா விட்டுருங்க.
என்ன
நாகராஜன் வரல, அதான் பாக்குறேன்.
நாகராஜன் இப்பதான் கூப்பிட்டேன் நான். அவரு நவீன் குமார் ரெடியா இருக்காரு அப்படின்னாரு.
அவர் எந்த ஐடியில வராருன்னு தெரியல. நவீன் குமார் ஐடியில எதுவும் வரல ராம் இது வரைக்கும்.
அப்படியா?
இது வரைக்கும் ஒரு 7 பேர் தான்
பாஸ்வேர்டு கேக்குறான்.
7 பேர் வெயிட்டிங் ரூம்ல இருக்காங்க.
இல்லங்க, ராம்குமார் இது ரேமண்ட் பாஸ்வேர்டு கேட்டு மெசேஜ் லாகின் பண்ண சொன்ன ஜிமெயில்
ஃபோன் பண்ணி சொல்ல முடியுமாங்க நம்ம ஒருத்தருக்கு? இப்போ
அது என்ன போட்டு விட்டுருங்க, நீங்க மெசேஜ் போட்டு விட்டுருங்க. ஜிமெயில லாகின் பண்ண சொல்லுங்க.
நாகராஜன் ஃபோன் பண்ணிட்டேன் திருப்பியும்.
அடிங்க, நீங்க அடிங்க.
சரி.
10 பேர் வெயிட்டிங் ஆல்ரெடி. வந்துட்டான் ரேமன் வந்துட்டா மாதிரி உள்ள. நசீர்
வந்துட்டோம்ல சார்.
நேமன் வந்துட்டா மாதிரி. நான் ஒன்னும் குமார் ராஜப்பான்றது யாரு?
குமார் ராஜப்பா கூட இருக்கலாம் நவீன்.
அதுதான் எனக்கு தெரியல, அதுதான் எனக்கு புரிய மாட்டேறது. இது பிராட்காஸ்ட் லைவ் இருந்திருக்குங்க, கூகுள் லைவ்.
வந்துட்டாரு நாகராஜன் வந்துட்டாரு.
நாகராஜன் எந்த ஐடியில வந்தாரு தெரியலையே.
வந்துட்டேன்னு என்கிட்ட நான் பேசினேன்.
அவனுக்கு எல்லாரும் அலோவ் பண்ணுங்க, வரணும் பண்றது.
நாகராஜன் வந்து இதுல பாருங்க, அந்த பிரியா பப்ளிகேஷனா
இல்ல அவரு
ராகவ் ரியாலிட்டி.
இல்ல என்னோடதுல வந்திருப்பாரு, விட்டுருங்க. அவர் என்னோட ஐடியில வந்திருப்பாரு. இதுல என்னோட ஐடியில வந்திருப்பாரு.
ஓ அப்படியா?
மெயில் வரலன்னாரு, அதனால என் ஐடியில வந்திருப்பாரு. பாப்போம், அவர் வரல, இன்னும் உள்ள கொடுத்துட்டேன்.
இல்ல நீங்க கூகுள் பிராட்காஸ்ட் பண்ண முடியாதா?
அது 1 day before ரெஜிஸ்ட்ரேஷன் பண்ணணுமா? ஏன்னா இன்னைக்கு தான் நான் ஃபுல்லா நோண்டேன் உட்காந்து.
இன்னைக்குள்ள ரெக்கார்டிங் ஆகுதா?
ரெக்கார்டிங் ஆயிடும்.
அது நம்ம இதுல போட்டுடலாம்.
ரெக்கார்டிங் ஆயிடும். அது ஆயிடும். 13 பேர் வெயிட்டிங். ராம்குமார்
சொல்லுங்க.
13 people வெயிட்டிங்.
இவங்க வரணும்ல. இப்ப அதுதான்
அலோவ் பண்றது என்ன ப்ராப்ளம்? உங்களுக்கு அலோவ் பண்ணுங்க. அலோவ் பண்ணி நீங்க இன்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணுங்க. நம்ம மீட்டிங் will start in 5 minutes. பிரபு நீங்க அலோவ் பண்ணுங்க.
போயிட போறாங்க, அதுக்கு தான் பாக்குறேன். அதான் அலோவ் பண்ணிடுறேன்.
Okay. No, link we have sent. No, link you should have received. Asking for the password. Hello, Ram.
Good evening, sir.
Ram.
சொல்லுங்க. Yes.
Prabhu. Padam Yogar's computer is asking for password.
He would have received an email in his President Kradai mail. Anyway, he would have received an email and that President Kradai president at kradai.chennai.in. That is
President. No, we have sent it to the President Kradai email.
Kumar sir online.
Okay. Sure. Just join. No, we are waiting for him only.
Kumar sir online.
Nagarajan sir?
Yes sir, Dugar sir is online.
Kumar Rajan.
Nagarajan.
Hello sir.
Good evening sir.
Happy evening.
Good evening sir.
Sir, I am already Nagarajan is calling me in the mobile.
Yeah.
Nagarajan is starting his video, sir. He's starting his video. Yeah. Mr. Nagarajan.
Yeah. Good afternoon to everybody.
Happy afternoon, sir.
Happy afternoon to everybody.
Afternoon.
Good evening.
Ram?
Yes.
We have now, should we wait or we have 20 participants in the room already? Only thing is we'll have to wait for Mr. Dugar to join us.
Yeah, we'll wait for.
I think he's already joined.
He joined.
Could see.
Kradai Chennai, is it?
Available.
Kradai Chennai.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a, okay. That is muted already.
Good evening.
Hi, Nagarajan. Hi. How are you?
Murugesh sir.
Good evening, ma. Good evening, Secretary, Chairman, President, Treasurer, and Nagaraj, the person who began the show. Kudos to all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening.
Pilot வந்துட்டாருப்பா. Pilot. Treasurer pilot has come.
Sir, Murugesh sir.
சொல்லுங்க. என்ன மியூட் பண்ணிக்கவா? நான்
Mute பண்ணிக்கிங்க sir, please.
Right, okay.
Request all to be muted. Secretary will allow people to be.
Yes, Ramkumar, you can start. If Mr. Dugar is online, then you can start.
Yeah,
Kumar
I'm
sir,
there,
on
right?
both.
Can you see me?
Sir,
Yeah,
Yes, Pradap, you're seen.
yeah, I can see you. Yeah.
Okay.
Kumar sir is very much available.
Good evening. I'm Ramkumar here, President of APPCC. APPCC means Association of Professional Property Consultants Chennai. We have been constantly engaging our members with real estate fraternity, and here we are again coming out with the CREDAI Chennai along with APPCC a webinar where the President CREDAI, Mr. Dugar, is present, and Mr. Naveen from CMD of Naveen's Construction is also with us. Welcome all. Request Nagarajan to introduce the panelists and take this webinar forward.
Yeah, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the webinar on Chennai residential property scenario. We have our distinguished guest, Mr. Padam Dugar, President CREDAI Chennai, and Mr. R. Kumar, CMD, Naveen Housing. Both are stalwarts, and Padam Dugar has taken at the time of very crucial juncture. He has multiple roles, multiple challenges to play now. So let's really make it a useful discussion. We are all at the crossroads now, as you know very well, that we are all looking for a perennial solution to the COVID pandemic now. But however, we are meeting at a time where there is a need to exchange information, because information is strength, information is vital, information is essential for decision making by home buyers. And we have the reliable people, authentic sources, so it will be of immense benefit to everybody. And we should appreciate the APPC members because they all have a wealth of information to share, and we have compiled that information and it will be very useful to you. And first off, we are asking Mr. Padam Dugar to say a few words about the current market scenario. Mr. Padam Dugar, over to you.
Yeah. Good evening, Mr. Nagarajan and Mr. Ramkumar. Nagarajan is not new to me. I know him since I think close to, should be now 20-25 years.
Yeah, yes.
As early as 1995. One of the earliest people who are trying to connect the NRIs with this part of the country. Amazing. I think he still remains so active and keeps connected with all. Sir, I have nothing much to start with. There's so many things to say. But yes, pandemic is now, I think people have started to learn to live with it. And it's no more a fear, but yes, people have become cautious. It is just like driving a car on a busy road or a highway. So you can't keep pressing your accelerator. So you need to be careful what you're driving, how you're driving. So you're bound to have cyclists and different speed people coming on the road. So I think with that, we need to work and move carefully. Apart from the financial stress which the government and we all are facing, I think we are getting to learn to live with it. Investment, or let me put, home is no more an investment. I think it's become an essential product. It's a list of the essential commodities now. So I think the people are very serious about it. Things should be definitely much better now onward because we get real serious people who are looking at buying their homes, which is an important immediate requirement for many. Their concerns are there, and those concerns are being addressed. There's been much more confidence of the buyers today with RERA and other, the other checks and balances available in the country today. Definitely a buyer is much more matured, much more confident, and much more aware of what he's doing. Yeah. So I think with that, we'll take forward the questions or anything which we have, Mr. Nagarajan.
Yeah. Dr. Kumar, I need a few words from you about the current market scenario.
Kumar, you have to unmute.
I have to unmute.
Thank you, Mr. Nagarajan, for this opportunity and for the association, the APPCC, for organizing this seminar. We are glad to be part of this and to be with you all. It's a great feeling to be here today. Yes, we are, as Padam pointed out, we are in the midst of a crisis. The whole world is facing a crisis, and it's the pandemic on the one side, and then beyond just the pandemic, the economic fallout of what's happening is appalling. It's alarming all over the world. So this is an unprecedented situation. I think none of us in our generation, I mean, in the last 100 years, before after the World War II, I think we have not faced such a major catastrophe. None of us have heard of. Probably people who were born a little early, during when the M10 dropped bombs in Chennai. I think none of us are as old as that. So I think we are not. We are all new to some kind of a situation we are facing. It's very interesting and very challenging. So yes, we are coping with. Only thing in the current situation, it is throwing a lot of challenges. One is the operational level posed by the pandemic, the spread of pandemic, the behavior of the people, the society as a whole, the movement restrictions, and then the coming together. All those things are posing a great challenge on the one side. And then the economy, the economic challenges, the kind of locking up of capital, the disruption of the economy caused by the lockdown. So the lockdown is causing a lot of trouble by itself. And then, so we are in the midst of a situation wherein I feel this is a situation all of us should be aware of and keep taking steps by watchfully. We need to make our steps forward, our steps. We need to move forward. There is no option. I think all of us entrepreneurs and all of us as a community and as a society and as a nation, we have to move forward. The whole world has to move forward. There is no other choice. But we'll have to move forward carefully, measure our steps, see what's happening on a day-by-day basis, how things are fanning out, and accordingly strategize and move forward. And we all need to succeed. There is no doubt about this, both on the pandemic side and also on the economic side. So looking forward to, maybe it is on the one side, it's throwing up a lot of challenges, but during challenges are always newer ways of living, newer dynamism, newer things are unfolding. It is also a dynamic situation where a lot of innovations can happen, a lot of new ways of living, new ways of progressing will be found. So there is going to be path-breaking advancements also I am looking forward to. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed and looking forward to something good happening out of every bad that's happening. So with these few words, I hand over to again Mr. Nagarajan.
Yeah, thank you very much. And the latest figures released by property consultant Knight Frank India yesterday during the press conference, I would like to share it with you. The H120 launches in Chennai has come down by 55% at 3520 units. And the sales also has dipped by 67% to 2981 units over last year. And the unsold inventory stands at 14,149, which is a reduction over 2019 by 21%. And the QTS is 4.1 quarters. So I think, as you are all aware, that the Chennai needs around 30 to 40,000 units per year. And the resale market is also picking up because we are hearing a lot of NRIs are returning due to a combination of factors abroad and the global recession. With the result, the resale property market is also picking up in strategic CBD areas. Just to share with you some details, our APPC members have compiled. There are an estimated 150 to 200 units in CBD areas alone, which are in demand. The sizes vary from 1,500 to 5,000 square feet. And the expectation, the price expectation is 1.75 crore to 5 crore. This demand varies from Tiruvannur to Anna Nagar across the CBD areas, which is really a big boost which is a clear indication of the social distancing and the need to go for a larger apartments. And the gated community developments in all these areas and the projects with a range of amenities are yielding higher rental value and also higher resale value. There is a spurt in the number of inquiries, both for rental as well as resale value. Then NRI demand is picking up. As much as around 20% of the inquiries are coming from NRIs, particularly from countries like Dubai in UAE, Singapore, Kuwait, and US also. A significant development is that villas are in demand now. Not only in areas like Mount Punnamalli Road, Porur and Punnamalli, but also on the ECR coast. As you may be aware, due to the social distancing awareness, people are really preferring now independent villas. There is some good news for the people who are really looking at the Chennai investment as a whole. That's a source which we must really give credit to the Knight Frank. See, the government has recently invested 1 billion rupees on the outer ring road and 31 billion rupees for phase 2 of the Chennai Metro. And from the CMDA side, the government is really gearing up for the master plan 2026. The dashboard has already started. And as you may be aware, that there are a lot of industries which are very seriously looking at Chennai. To mention quite a few is the Foxconn is looking at Chennai. SEAT and Ford R&D has already started. A very significant development is the data center, which is really giving a very big boost to Chennai city. There are only 2 major cities across India where the data center can really take a foothold. One is Chennai and another is Mumbai. This is because we have the C-Link, we have the grid power from the government, which is a plus point for us. And moreover, e-commerce has also pushed the demand for warehousing and industrial lands. There is a big demand. So all these clearly indicate that there is a growing potential for Chennai. Nobody needs to really lose heart, and the way forward is that there are better days ahead for us. So with this short notice and with this short summary, I want to really address it to Mr. Padam Duhar and Dr. Kumar, some of the common questions that may emerge from any prospective investor in and around Chennai. Mr. Duhar, is this the right time to buy in Chennai, particularly end users?
I'll just definitely it's a good time. Before that, I'll just get 1 or 2 points of what Mr. Nagarajan spoke. Mr. Kumar is aware he's our past president of CREDAI and also of Tamil Nadu, a very veteran member and one of the early founders of CREDAI. This year, CREDAI has initiated a separate research and analysis wing. Mr. Kumar would agree that there's a lot of data which is being circulated around the market of the unsold, so-called unsold units. And these units, the word unsold needs to be defined correctly. It is like the car in the manufacturing factory. A car which is under manufacturing cannot be called as unsold. If those cars are booked, it is fine. But the cars which are coming out to this after the assembly line and which is reaching the showroom and not sold, I think that should be termed as unsold. I think that is a gray area of what they are talking. Second thing, the numbers which are being floated on the unsold stock, please, the numbers which has been mentioned by Knight Frank also is definitely on a very high side, and we would be coming out with our numbers. Basically, it is the numbers from our developers which has been released by the so-called research and IPC companies, and we members ourselves are out with our numbers ready, and this number is much lower, much lower than what has been projected just now. Number 2, you can be very happy that the whole of country, we are the lowest quantity of unsold stock. Number 3, also I think during this pandemic, we need to congratulate the Tamil Nadu government. The highest investment, I think close to 15,000 crores has been brought in. The whole of India, I think the first is Tamil Nadu. The second comes Maharashtra, which is 11,000 crores. So taking this clue, Definitely, Chennai is the best, good market. Chennai has always been an end user market. That's why the prices are always much stable. Than it is never having a big fall like you see in 97, if many of you remember, or in 2008, another recession we saw. The changes in prices, I mean, if I have to say the downward trend in prices, when this market, when the real estate markets were not favored, Chennai was the lowest affected. So taking that point, definitely Chennai has the lowest stock. The ongoing projects are also very much in line. Number three, the lowest complaints in RERA. If you take the whole of country, I think Chennai is a very disciplined, very matured, both in terms of the developers, deliverables, and in terms of the buyer's maturity. Chennai stands much, much ahead and much farther than any other market in the country. Having said that, Chennai definitely, with all these investments coming, and you are talking about the data center and this third master plan being ready. So it very clearly shows Chennai is definitely a good location to be. And of course, yesterday I was speaking to, day before yesterday, we had a webinar with Mr. Jitu Virwani, the country's 50th richest man, Embassy, the founder of Embassy. So he said one thing, the brains with the conservatism, Chennai is a flavored and favored destination. So taking that forward, I think it's a good time, and Chennai is will the best market, and people can definitely, with a lot of confidence, buy apartments in Chennai. And Chennai is definitely going to be much better than any other city is for concern. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Mr. Kumar, as the demand for large unit sizes up due to the work from home concept and the plans by IT bigwigs to continue it?
Yes, Mr. Nagarajan. Definitely the sizes of apartments now being sought after are definitely larger than what it was prior to COVID. Certainly there is an impact on sizes of apartments. Probably they expect one more room, maybe a bedroom or a study room, or at least the larger rooms which can accommodate a work desk for them to work from home. And also the social distancing norms. See, there are a lot of things which are happening, good things. One is carrying on from the previous question also. You asked whether this is the best time. I will tell you, there was no better time than this from the buyer perspective. In the last at least 12 years of real estate, and the interest rates have been the historically lowest in the history of Indian real estate. The home loan interest rates are at the historically lowest level at 7%, 7.2%. It's never been so low. So the buyer is at a huge advantage today than ever before, number one. Number two, the RERA and all other facilities. And in fact, as Padam said, Chennai is really the most mature market. I mean, the real estate scenario, you compare with the rest of India and Chennai, southern states in general and Chennai in particular has been very, very mature. The developers here are, I think, probably, they are follow the best followers of rules and regulations, and they are most compliant compared to the rest of the country. So that is one. And second thing, for the buyer, there are also a lot of incentives. The PMAY scheme has been extended by one more year. That is a COVID benefit. It was already ending on 31st March 2020. But because of the COVID, the government has enhanced it by one more year. It gives a great advantage for all home buyers to say, see, government is giving you up to 2.5 lakhs, 2.35 lakhs free to buy a home, which is not a small sum compared to the amount of loan you are taking, which is very good incentive. Plus the income tax benefits which are coming along when you buy a home. Your home loan repayments get you a lot of income tax benefits. We in Naveen, we sat with chartered accountants and we are helping our customers to bring down their the burden of the loan to a great extent. We have found in some cases even the achievement can be negative. They can make money by borrowing if they are renting out the house. There are various combinations and permutations as to click the income of the borrower. If it is a first home, I am talking about for the first home buyer, there are great benefits. And on top, I'll tell you, if you really look at the prices of real estate, in the last 10 years, I think if you adjust for inflation, the prices were not so low at any point. So low compared to what it was. So the prices have not gone up for so many years itself is. I'm hearing some other noises. Somebody else. Anyway. So it is at the lowest possible price for what was 2 years back, 3 years back. At the same price, if it is available, the customer is saving 3 years interest on the property. There is so much advantage to buying now. And Nagarajan is, I appreciate it so much. What kind of information he is able to gather and he is able to deliver to the people. I appreciate his great work. For a long time, I've been seeing it's like some feedback coming. Somebody's speaker is on. Mic is on.
No.
Okay, I'm audible because I hear a lot of noises.
You can go ahead, sir. You're audible, sir.
Okay. So he has been pointing it out that the unsold stock has, forget about the numbers, 21% it has come down compared to last year. So what's happening is really, even with your numbers, I am finding that the unsold stock is coming down. One, and then there are no new supply coming. You all said the launches are also down by about 50%, right? 55%. Yeah. So the launches have come down. The supply availability of stock is coming down. And then due to COVID, the new launches, it will take long time to construct because now people will be focusing on completing because most of the migrant labor who left has affected the progress of work. So now the focus will be on completion of existing construction rather than starting a new project and going ahead, which means the supply is going to be short in the next coming quarters. This means the demand is also, it has been, the people have been waiting in the hope that the prices will come down further for long. They've been postponing the addition, sitting on the fence. Now, all that is accumulated demand is also just sitting on the fence. And I think this is a great time for them to buy, taking advantage of the current situation. And actually, if anybody is under stress, I think the builders are the worst affected. They are under stress. But this is a great time for the customer to buy. This is my view.
Mr. Dugar, are the realty funds evincing keen interest now for residential development?
Sorry, on the realty fund?
Yeah, are they showing more interest now to fund the developers for residential development?
Yeah, recently, I think last 15-20 days, we did hear a lot of few people showing interest on getting into funding the projects, both the last mile and looking at newer projects. If the sizes and things are in place, they started showing interest. I think the world is looking at, as we feel that the home is important. So there has definitely been a lot of interest. Funds have been showing.
We also understand that with the supply level shrinking and the QTS at 4.1 quarters, there is a strong forecast that the housing prices will go high in the coming years. What's your opinion on that?
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Kumar, please carry on.
Okay.
Whom it is to whom the question is
Kumar, no problem.
To both.
You can answer. You can answer, no problem.
Okay. Yes, this is what I was saying. The supply is shrinking. The demand has been stacking up for quite some time. I mean, the annual offtake has been low in the last few years, which means the demand has not been met fully. So there is an unmet demand, which is now showing up because people's disposable income today is better. Though probably their salaries have shrunk a little, but if you see, there is nothing to spend on. today the consumerism is gone. No, people are not spending money on anything except food and probably their home. So now there is focus also. People are now having a lot of time to think about what is necessary in life. So their mind is also focusing on valuable things. So after food and clothing comes shelter. Shelter is a long-term investment. So even the mindset of the people is now towards buying homes. So I think every factor, and then if they miss now what happened because of the shrinking supply and the increasing demand, the demand is going to only go up as time passes. So with this, there's a potential combination for the increase in prices. The supply shrinking, demand goes up, natural economic phenomena, the prices will start shooting up. One side, one reason. Second reason, with the COVID coming in, getting materials is difficult. The price of materials like cement and steel have been going up. The labor cost, the labor is not available today, and you are procuring labor at a higher cost. Some people want to bring labor by flight. I mean, everything pushes up the cost of construction. And the delay also means COVID delay or whatever delay, even for the builder, the investment is, the return on investment is getting delayed. All this is going to increase the burden of the developer. So the costs are also going to go up, which will definitely result in, as Mr. Nagarajan rightly pointed out, an increase in prices are on the cards soon.
Thank you. Mr. Dugar, with a majority of the landowners now opting for disposal of the land rather than going for any other options, JV options are really shrinking. How do you, as developers, tackle the current scenario with virtually no help coming from the government?
The best thing the landowner wants is to have money on his table, and he wants the best price for his land, and he wants the cheapest price for the flat if he wants to buy from us. So I don't know how those ends meet exactly. So having said that, yes, definitely buying land is not going to be easy. The landowner sitting on land thinking that the developers coming forward to buy the land, I'm sorry, I think it is not at all not going to happen very soon, because we as developers would like to invest the money in ensuring that the project is getting ready. Having said that, even the government of India is not keen in funding the land purchase. So with this,
Please go ahead.
So with this, I think the best is today the landowner should partner with the developers. He could sit for longer and he would not get options to exit, or unless there is a deferred payment being managed. So because the end of the day, there are very few of developers today available who could look at buying parcels of land. With so much options available of land, the developer has now better options, a better pricing. He also has a better pricing to buy it. So taking that point, the government is still not going to be very keen on funding the land also. So I think the landowners should look at first option is on a JV or on a deferred payment, payment where the landowner partners with the developer and takes it over a period of time. I think that is the best option today available with the landowners.
Mr. Kumar, you want to add something?
Yeah, I would just like to add, yes, this is a time landowners, when they want to dispose of the land, now they must become realistic on the land prices. Problem with, when the prices go up, they are very happy. When real estate prices, the flat prices which you are building has been stagnant for 6-7 years, and probably it's facing a downward pressure, and all costs have gone up in the 7 years. Everything has gone up. So all material costs, everything has been going up every year on year. So the only thing which can take a hit is the land price. So if they want to sell, they will have to look at valuations which are workable for the developer. Not know what is their imagined price which they were thinking in probably 2012, 11, 13. All that is now bygones. They are not true anymore, and they will have to be realistic on the price. As Padam rightly said, there are very few builders who will be willing to bet on the land, because Now the money has to go towards construction. The priority. So if the prices are reasonable, if the landowners are willing to part with the workable prices, then the sales can happen. Again, as Padam said, there is no funding for this. Builders will have to invest, bring in their own money, which is also at a premium. So they will understand all this when they quote a price.
Mr. Kumar, what is the perception of
Kumar,
student housing demand? Oh,
Yes,
sorry.
Padam wants to say something. Before that,
Kumar, you will agree, all the landowners are also our customers again. So at one place they want 10 rupees for the land, and at one place they want the land flat prices to come down. So I don't know how the same person play dual role.
The problem is they don't understand the real costs involved in development.
Now, do you think they don't understand or they don't want to understand?
They don't want to understand. They want to believe it's peanuts. And
Yeah.
it's. I think. I mean, all the realtors listening to this webcast, the webinar. Please you need to educate the landowner about what are realistic prices today. I think it is about 50% of their expectations. That is where hovering around. So this is the reality today. So then probably some transactions can take place. Even then, as Padam said, still they may have to defer their payments and also may have to accept partnering with the developer. Of course, that's their choice.
Nagarajan, if I have to add, Mr. Kumar, you won't believe last at least 15-20 days, I'm sure Kumar office would also agree, Kumar with his office. Every day we are at least getting 10 to 15 calls from landowners.
Yeah, join the video.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Yeah. So Mr. Kumar also will agree. What, Mr. Kumar? At least my office is getting at least 7 to 8 calls on options of land. Whether it's the landowner directly, whether it's coming through the mediator. I mean, all are coming with very fancy, comfortable pricing options. I think they have realized. So just imagine the kind of opportunity for a landowner to sell has come down drastically. What I need. Yeah.
Last week we had a land review meeting. What are all the properties to come? There are something like 400 properties which were coming for discussion.
Yeah.
400 accumulated availability of land for development with my team. So I am just supporting Padam. There is so many, and many of them you reject on the first instance because of the kind of price of course we tell them what is a realistic price and then stop there. So there is so many land which is available today, both for selling as well as I'm not fully agreeing with Nagarajan when he says they only want to sell. No, they also want to partner with the developer and then do a joint development. We need to weigh the pros and cons and then take a decision on this.
Just if we have 200 CREDAI members and if we multiply per month, each one getting at least, if Kumar has said 400, let me take 55%, 100. Just imagine what is coming on the table. Yeah.
Mr. Kumar, what is the perception of student housing and how many developers are keen to venture into it?
I tell you, in India, the student housing concept is not really catching up. The kind of returns which the developer can get, it doesn't even cover the construction cost today. Forget about the land cost, wherever it is. Because this is what is the willingness to pay here. The ability to pay for the student community is low. Unlike in the West, where it's a big ticket item, you go to London, Oxford or US, the student housing is a major business model. That's a very good real estate option. But in India, it's not happening on a professional way. It's happening sporadically, some individuals offering, but it is the viability is still in question.
Okay. Mr. Duhar, do you feel land prices have dipped across micro markets and in suburbs and peripheral areas?
No doubt at all. Just that it's coming from the previous statement which we made. When just like if there's too much of stock of apartments, you expect the prices to come down. It is similar thing happening when there's so much of land coming to each one of us developers, and we don't have the capacity to take it because of funding options. So definitely there is a correction parallelly happening on the land prices, both in micro market and in the main areas too. There's no doubt about it.
Mr. Kumar, what is the favorite among landowners now, whether a joint venture or development management or any other model that is catching up?
The development management model is a new one, which is done by in some cases, some larger developments. It's happening. It is yet to catch up. People still don't know. The landowners have to understand. In fact, I think builders will now start. We will start preferring. If you ask me, I will prefer a development management model rather than a joint development model. No, we will bring in our professionalism, we will bring in our expertise, we will bring in our brand, and we will do whatever best we can. We are expected to do, and the landowner takes both the risk as well as rewards. So I think it's a good proposition. If markets go up, the landowners stand to gain. And if the markets don't go up, we are protected. So I think development management model is a good model, but that maturity has not come yet among the landowners to accept this and proceed further, except in a few cases. Still, the preferred model is joint development, because why they come for joint development is because they are not getting their expected land price. So now they are settling for joint development. But joint development post the GST is posing a lot of more questions, especially after RERA and GST. It's throwing more challenges to fulfill. So it's becoming a tougher proposition. That way, over a period of time, the development management model will emerge.
Mr. Dugar, what are the innovative concepts you are planning to integrate in housing development to accommodate work from home concept and a better lifestyle for inmates? For instance, Tata Housing MD, Mr. Sanjay Dutt has said that they are planning to really go for a new innovation in residential development in future. So much so that even the basement can be converted into a cafeteria or something like that. I'm just giving a guess.
I think COVID is in fashion. So once the vaccine is in, it'll be forgotten. But having said that, yes, we will definitely see. End of the day, whatever we add, it adds on to the total area for the buyer. But yes, we had definitely on CREDAI, we did have a deliberation on this. And one or two things which we have told the government to consider is the ongoing projects and the new projects to exempt certain areas wherein we could provide a common space for work from home, like a business center kind of a space at the ground level. If people cannot really afford to, have their desk in their house, that is, I think, one important thing which we want to add. If it's the government, we are asking them to allow us on our existing project where the work is going on, which should not be part of an FSI, so that we could create a certain space of workstations, which could be a private workstations for a few to work from home. Apart from that, specific wash areas for the hygiene purpose, so that those two things are the important things which we have already presented to the government, and many of our developers have started putting these things in place also.
Mr. Kumar, there is a general impression that with the stringent provisions of RERA and also the cascading impact of GST and other things, 50% of the developers have exited the market. Is it a reality or it is only just a rumor?
Yes, see, the answer is yes and no. I'll have to be careful.
Kumar, let me just add before that. Okay. Sir, a year-on-year CREDAI membership is going up. Okay. Year-on-year, CREDAI membership is going up. So those who are exiting are no more CREDAI members. So can just understand that we are definitely those who are maybe doing small time projects here and there, they might be exiting. Kumar, I'm sorry. I just wanted to add.
You must do this because CREDAI, yes, you are the best person to speak on that.
I just thought there's some data. Some data we have. I thought I could share it with you all.
Yes.
Yeah. Year on year. Yeah. Sorry.
Please.
Year on year memberships has gone up, and in fact, our year starts in April, and all the subscription comes in April itself. So you can be rest assured nobody has exited the business on CREDAI platform till date.
Yeah, the point is the RERA and GST. What has happened? What it has done is it's brought in a lot of professionalism into the business.
Yeah.
What happens? The fly-by-night operators who are just trying their hand and trying to do this as a part-time or one-off. Now it's becoming very, very difficult. So that way, the numbers of such developers will definitely come down, and more professional and organized players alone can survive and progress. Which means a lot of discipline has to come into the way of doing business. A lot of financial planning has to come in, and then they have to have professionalism in design, construction, marketing, and even getting approvals, getting through all these hurdles. Like you need to have legal expertise. GST is a big research. You need to have a big research wing. My accounts team, we have to expand the accounts team to accommodate the GST related issues alone. Compliances, you need a lot of professionalism even in accounting practices. Again, the RERA also imposes on discipline and professionalism. You need to get a lot of the kind of buildings are also evolving today. It's no more small developments. It's all large communities. So professionalism is coming in. So all this is definitely causing polarization of developers into professional people who are steely resolved, and then they want to stay and serve for long, and those committed ones, and the rest of that will wither away.
It is just like manufacturing, I think, Kumar. It's capital intensive. You can't buy parts from outside and prepare a car in the garage. So it requires a plant. It requires all the facilities.
Yes, absolutely. See, what we call is entry-level barrier.
Yes.
Anybody can enter into this business and do. Today, the entry-level barriers have gone up so much. So you have to think, whether you have that bandwidth and you have the wherewithal to enter and then do, because yes, you need all the paraphernalia to even to enter into this field and do this. So it's becoming tougher field. We are graduating from probably league level to zonal level. Now probably we are playing test cricket.
Mr. Dugar, before taking up the audience questions, there is a small request. CREDAI has published a wonderful edition a few years ago on A to Z guidance for those wishing to enter real estate development.
Okay.
Would you like to distribute a soft copy for those budding entrepreneurs?
Okay. I'm not sure when it was done, but I will check it out. But I think it would have been outdated now if it was done a few years back. So we will definitely check on how it is. But if you become a member of CREDAI, we'll definitely able to give you all the guidance required, all the budding enterprises. In fact, we have a youth wing in with us. See, we have a strong youth wing with us. Mr. Kumar's son is also part of the youth wing. The second generation or the first generation entrepreneurs who are young are also part of the youth wing. So definitely we have that. We have regular classes or regular updations given to them. And let me just check. I'm not sure about whether there was a book or soft copy there.
Okay,
if it is so, yeah.
We will also send you some information available with that also. Let us
Sir, I have two questions for all of you.
Please,
if I'm allowed to ask.
Yeah, definitely, sir. You are our chief guest.
No, not at all. See, you people are professionals. You tell us what is that stopping or delaying the buyer from buying or taking his decision. Number one. As you said, the number of builders have come down. Has the number of professionals or the mediators in the real estate sector come down? These are two questions of mine.
Mr. Ram Kumar, you want to take up?
Yeah, the second point I would like to say, answer, the number of professionals have increased actually. Only that our partnering with builders have to somewhere get closer. That will help in, understanding the product, and also it will be a great support to one another. And the first question for that matter, I think the number of the inquiries are quite good enough, and as Mr. Narayan said, in CBD there is quite a good demand of good properties, and it is bound to go. I think we have a strong inclination thought that next 5 years is going to be good for real estate, because housing demand is there to stay.
So what is stopping the buyers to take decisions faster?
Now, Chennai is very conservative. This 2-3 months has become a little disturbance to their mindsets. To come and visit a property, you have to arrange a virtual visit first and then bring them to a site. So, this will ease out by September is the feel, because, by that time, there'll be a lot of confidence in them to step out. And, even when we go out with clients, they're very clear if their social is SOP is practiced in the site, whether we have enough precautions. All these questions are asked with us. So we talk to the builders, check with all the SOPs are there in place, and then we arrange the site visit. So, this kind of comfort factor we need to give them given the situation. So this will gradually improve upon, as things normalizes, and by come September, I think it should improve a lot, and by the end of the year, there should be a lot of confidence.
Ram, if
it's a very strong thing.
Ram,
Yeah.
Kitchen and reply for this Padam's question. I guess people's sentiment is that prices will fall further down. There may be a correction in price for next. Basically, they are doing wait and watch. I mean, they ideally want to wait and see whether the price points are going to come down. That is the major reason people are not closing, is what we personally feel.
See, on behalf of the NRIs, I can add a few words. See, most of the NRIs nowadays don't want to rely on their friends or relatives to manage the property. They want property management services managed by an independent professional. That is one of the major criteria. Some of the developers have learned the hard lesson now. They are offering as an extension of service along with the home buying exercise. So that is one of the reasons. And the awareness level has not still gone into the market, that this is the right time to buy. So many incentives have been offered by the government, and the home loan rates are at an all-time low. There are fiscal concessions. So the awareness level has to be really intensified further to really make them understand that this is the best time to buy. Yeah, please.
Yeah, Bala here. The other reason may be that there is a small gap between the builder's price and the purchaser's price. The purchaser always think that actually that's the smallest gap. As Mr. Kumar has pointed out, from the landowners, 15% gap. I believe the builders and the purchasers, the gap is also similarly 10 to 15%. That's where the hesitation happens in the last moment. And other thing is, now there is no basically looking at the situation in the real estate market and looking at the middle class buyers, the RBI's subvention scheme scrapping was a great effect in terms of purchases not happening. The subvention was pretty great boost to the purchase, especially middle class purchasers, those who want to wait for book and wait for 2 to 3 years and get into the apartment with the increase in their investments and with the escalation in their investments. That is something. If suppose the government is coming back with the RBI is coming back with the subvention, I think definitely we will have a boost in terms of primary sales. Definitely that will add up to that. So the end of the day, the gap is what, 10 to 15% reasonable price from the buyer point and affordable price from the builder point.
Mr. Duar and Mr. Kumar, can we take up the questions? That's a
Yeah,
very
Yeah.
honest.
on Balasubramaniam's comments,
Ah,
I want to say, I didn't say land prices come down by 15%. It has come down by 50%. Number one. Number two, actually, there is no bandwidth for the developers. Now, the developers, please understand, I mean, we are talking a professional body now. The developers have been losing. They are either operating on a wafer thin margin, and with the result, see, if I sell 2 years back at a price and today at the same price, I already lost, depending on my borrowing rate of interest, 28%. If it is 14%, in 2 years, I have lost 28% of, suppose I get 5,000 rupees. This is what I'm going to get. Kindly understand, the builders know the money cost money. It is the time value for money is very high. So even if 1 year the prices don't go up, the builders are bound to lose about 14%. Right? They are managing in so many measures, so many ways, by cutting down costs, by cutting down their staff level and all that. They are bringing down their the interest rates. They are paying the interest on the capital invested. So the prices not coming down is hurting the builder. If, of course, the construction has not taken place, to that extent they will be saved. It may not be 14% loss if the construction is progressing. If the construction is completed, they are going to lose the entire money. So every year they are losing. So the margins of the developers today are either wafer thin or non-existent or negative. They are still selling for cash flows. So that's what I'm saying. When ourselves, professionals, we don't understand that this is the lowest price. Probably they will chip in with some kind of a discount so that you can close the deal. Only that much of bandwidth is there available with the builders. So this is the best time to hammer a deal and then close the deal for the customer. You will have to tell the customer, if you miss it out, then there is one saying in Tamil, the prices will start going up. At that point of time, people will all rush to buy. This is the tendency. The tendency is the people will rush to buy when the prices start going up. But I say this is the best time which you will have to carry this message to all your clients, that if you miss this now, the prices will go up rather than, it has been going down. It has come to a slight down. See, every year they save on 12 months interest on from the buyer. Straight away they are going to save on 12 months EMI. And the developer is losing on the interest part for every year's delay. The sale prices remaining stagnant itself is hurting the builder very badly. So the bandwidth for builder to come down on prices is very low, and you must now take sides, take pity on the developers and try to shore up. In fact, the previous seminar also, the speakers really, even the JLL, and they were also making it out. Even Hemdev was making this out loud and clear, that the people will have to now understand, they will have to come to the rescue of their favorite builders. This is the time the builders need to be supported on prices by the fraternity. One. So that's very, very important. I just wanted to add this to Mr. Balasubramaniam's comment.
I think, Kumar, if I have to tell, I would just add this. Sir, everybody on this forum, any business, nobody wants to lose a customer. Okay. So it is no fun, any developer sitting on a project, not wanting to sell at his price. So I think the mindset of saying that we are waiting, that the developer will reduce further, I think that is not the mindset. Nobody wants to lose a customer who is coming in, because a customer who comes in invests a lot of time and effort. He comes with a family, so much. He's not coming on a jolly go ride to Marina Beach. A lot of time and investment he's doing on his health, his homework. So it is just that they are feeling that, the tip is not matched, as Kumar said. So kindly ensure and tell them, if you don't, it is the best what they are offering. It is not that we are trying to be wait and watch. There's no more wait and watch in any of these things. Yeah, thank you.
Mr. Duhar and Mr. Kumar, here are the questions one by one. From APPCC member, during this difficult time, to what extent the developers extend their support to the realtor fraternity? Will they start offering better perks for performing realtors?
You mean to say whom are we talking about?
This is from the realtors fraternity. They are asking, during the difficult times, to what extent the developers extend their support to the realtor fraternity? Will they start
think
offering better perks for performing realtors?
Kumar, don't you think it goes without saying?
I would rather say, no, I would rather say, please look at it this way. Rather say, in COVID, when all of us are losing heavily, so the builders are already paying salaries without the work offices, no, even the offices working at 50% staff and 25% efficiency. We are still, so our costs are actually going up. This is a time when everybody's salary cuts are being taken. So everyone is working. In fact, film actors have now agreed that they will take a big cut in their paycheck. I think our fraternity should actually come forward to take a cut in their incentive and increase the volumes. That will be actually the builder. But again, see, only thing, his bandwidth being low, either it can go as incentive for the realtor or it can go as discount for the customer. Please understand, if the builder does both and he continues to do both, you kindly understand he is going to lose out. If he is losing out, the project is not going to get completed, or he may not be able to pay back the loan, and he will struggle with the result. This will bring down the whole market. We should all work.
Kumar,
yes,
Kumar, I think let them show us the volumes, then we'll talk.
Whatever margin possible, yes. The total package can be shared between the realtor and the customer. So you need to decide how much you want to give to the customer, how much you want to. We'll work out a deal.
Yes, absolutely.
Here is a question from Mr. Subesh Ravi. In Chennai, which are the areas which have more potential in future?
Kumar, you want to answer?
Okay, I will tell you. Every location. This is not, you are not, see, in Chennai, it's not a market of investors. It's a market of end users. So where they are working, where their children are studying, this will determine where they live. Suppose they are working in OMR and their children are somewhere in Medavakkam studying in the school there. Should I ask them to go to Mugaper and that side? No, it's not going to work. The end user market is what is really working. It's not the investor. Investor today, what is that? His investment is not going to yield much result. So he is not in the market today. The end users are in the market, and they will have to decide on where is their office and where is their school for the kids, and that is how the decision has to be taken. I think every area has got its own advantages and its own benefits. So
what Kumar is trying to what Kumar is trying to say is that Chennai infrastructure is very good. We have the offices, schools, and all the other infrastructure spread over the entire city. So I think it goes by each, as he says, it is more of each one's convenience, the family where they're living, and of course, the around 5,000 rupees square foot budget projects are much better off. So we do have a periphery of all around the Chennai, which has this 5,000, 7,000, 6,000 rupees square feet budget. So if you take the center point, as you keep expanding the circle, everybody comes in the same price width. So I think the road connectivity, the trains, that is the best connectivity we have in Chennai with all the big IT parks around many places now. So government is also doing good job. So there's no more a specific hotspot is what Kumar is trying to add, if I'm right.
This is again from the APPCC member. Is the builders open for price reduction for some units to have the momentum on?
I think we have answered this question, Kumar. I don't think so. We need to answer again.
Okay.
You already answered. Thank you.
This is from Mr. Ram Kumar. CREDAI India has an MOU with an NAR India. Has a real estate agent, you would be happy to be partnering. And what is the expectation from real estate professionals by CREDAI?
Okay. Actually, I have this question for you also. You tell us what is that? What exactly you are expecting from CREDAI developers, and in turn, what we would like to offer. See, definitely we would like to have a very nice relationship. There's no doubt about it. We respect this community or this business community who is definitely an influencer to our buyers. It's like the marriage. The end of the day, the boy and girl have to decide, yes. But you need to tell the boy, you need to tell the girl, okay, there's so many ways of looking at it. definitely CREDAI has an MOU, and CREDAI Chennai would definitely like to have people like the bodies like you, or the kind of a business community like you, being part of us and not being opposite to us. You kindly come out with us, with the way plan of action. We shall be more than happy. We will discuss with our members and definitely ensure that it's a win-win situation for all of us.
This is from Balamurugan Dandabani. During recession period 2008, Chennai market does not fall much compared to Mumbai, Bangalore. Will this continue in 2020?
It is seen 97. Mr. Kumar will agree with me. It has seen, in my opening remarks, I said we have seen 97, we have seen 2008, and we have seen this from the beginning of 2014. You compare this price of Chennai with anywhere else in the country. You start from Mumbai, you start from Delhi, you go to Calcutta, you go to Hyderabad. We have still remained much stable, matured. The reason, as Kumar also pointed, and you also know, we are an end user market. In a project of 100 flats, I want to give a small, very example. In a project of 100 flats, let us say Naveen's project of 100 flats, when we hand over, in the period of 3 to 4 months, we will have 80 to 90 tube lights working and 80 to 90 flats clothes hanging, which very clearly shows is an end user market. If you take the same thing in Mumbai, if you take the same thing in Delhi or Noida, it is not the case. So definitely we are different from the rest of the country. Chennai is definitely different from the rest of the country, both in terms of intellectual and in terms of maturity, in terms of end user. So that is the point we need to make there.
Mr. Subhesh Ravi wants to know, with the emerging trend to avoid procurement from China, does this benefit or affect the real estate developers?
Kumar, if you are buying Chennai,
China
products, please tell us.
I am not buying China
Kumar?
products. I have not been.
That's it. That's it. You tell me our sand is available here, our steel is available here, our cement is available here, our door wood is the best available here, the tiles is best manufactured in this country. Okay, the CP fittings, the sanitary fittings have the best service back point available here. Why should we ever go to China and buy? We don't buy products from China at all, as Kumar very clearly said.
This is from Mr. Mahalingam Krishnamurthy. Do you have any scheme for investors to invest when the project starts and exit when the project is completed at 70% and exit with surplus?
That is greed. That is greed. We are 95% end users market. So the end user does not want to, we are not a speculative market. And I think the investor market is over. Am I right, Kumar? The investor market across India is over. Take it Mumbai. Yes, I would like to.
In Bombay, I think probably he was operating in Bombay and Delhi. Chennai, this has never been supporting. In fact, the Chennai developers, if you really see, even the best of developers here, we are not so huge like the national players. We are actually more customer oriented. We are end user oriented. It's not like huge investments make huge money. It is not only when the prices go up, keep jumping up, like in the 2004 to 2013. That's a period. Probably all those promises could have been possible. I think that's all over. The game is done and dusted. And with the revenue coming in, your questions are. I don't think it's answerable. It's possible.
Yeah. So one more thing. I think we must bifurcate this question of investor. There are two kinds of people. One is a speculator, and one who is buying as an investment to get rental return. So if you're talking about an investor who is investing for a rental return, yes, we do have. If a guy who is looking at a speculation, there are two options available for him. Let him buy the land. Second is the stock market.
Mr. Chokkalingam wants to know whether CREDAI is taking up with government for reducing the registration charges from 5 to earlier 1 of 1%.
CREDAI is very seriously taken up immediately. In fact, we are continuously talking to them. We are talking to them to reduce the registration cost from to the earlier level of 7+1. We are also trying to say what is the best option, because unless this registration as a window, at least for a window period, let us say 6 months or 1 year, this COVID scenario, let them test the market and then look at it. We are definitely taking up this point with Tamil Nadu government.
Mr. Venkatramani Tangaraj wants to know, is there any potential on OMR and ECR? Also, what about the Oragadam area?
Sir, all the three areas have fantastic potential. Oragadam, I told you just now, Tamil Nadu has signed in this 90 or 100 days of COVID, the highest investments in the country. 15,000 crores is available in the Guidance Bureau of Tamil Nadu. Second comes Maharashtra. Yes, Oragadam, yes, OMR. ECR, of course, could always be a connection for the OMR. These two are definitely continuing, will continue and continue to have the interest because of both IT. Also, though we see in paper some people are exiting, there are some much more people are coming in. For example, the government of Tamil Nadu is signing up 5 MOUs on the 20th. This is internal information on at least on IT parks. So definitely, it is like, some people are exiting, some more bigger people are coming in. The market becoming mature, you are having bigger people coming in. So let's not look at the negative news that some 20,000 square feet somebody has exited. Let us look at 2 lakh square feet somebody is entering now. So that is also parallelly happening. There are some people born and there are some people exiting the world. So that is definitely parallelly happening. So Tamil Nadu definitely is poised to definitely much matured. The government of Tamil Nadu, let me appreciate, are a very silent operator. They are not marketing themselves very well. They have definitely brought in a lot of investments now recently.
This is again from the APPC member. What is the broker's role in primary market? Chennai versus other city. What is the builder's view?
Sir, we welcome you all on the CREDAI platform. Let us please, we are not playing as two teams of the football. We are one side of the football team. The other side is the customer. Do not divide us. Tell us what exactly the entire community, whether it is NAPR or whether it is your organization or whether it is TN Rega. Let's come together. CREDAI is one. We don't have multiple organizations on this platform. You together come to us and tell us, and we, from the developer's perspective and on behalf of Kumar also, we would be more than happy to ensure both on ensuring good sale for both of us, and also we will definitely try to give you exposure on why and the reason why this is the price and this is the ratio, and at this location we can sign up. We are in fact coming out with that model also. Very soon we would like to share with all of you. So you tell us how we can together help our customer to get convinced who is confused now to buy the home.
The last question is CREDAI looking for subvention
Sorry, I think
scheme?
Kumar wants to say something.
Oh yeah, please.
I just want to add to what Padam had said. See, real estate is an ecosystem where we are all players. We should be playing together as a team. We are all members of the same team, and the real estate has to win as an industry. That is how all of us will survive and progress. So for real estate to win, the stakeholders in real estate should win, right? When we are partnering together, that's a beautiful thing. It has to happen. I mean, if it is not happening, only there is a question mark why this partnership is not coming very well. Because we are there to serve. Finally, the customer has to be serviced. One side, one service to the customer, and then profits to the developer. So this is the absolute objective of this business, right? The builder, the developer or the producer has to make profits and the consumer has to get a good product. So when we are all working together in that, I think this is a beautiful combination which has to work well. But probably when somebody is asking the question, what is the difference between probably other cities and Chennai? Chennai, I think, I mean, the intermediaries and the realtors have not been as successful as in other parts of the country. I may be wrong. If I am wrong, please correct me. The not much of business, the amount of business which is happening through the realtors is larger in the other cities than in Chennai. Probably the Chennai market operates a little differently. It's what my reading is. And what we need to understand the role we have to play, like Padam said, finally the customer has to be serviced. So what we need is, see, we are a professional organization. So we have to, educate the customer. Each developer has got his own advantage. Somebody will have a price advantage. Somebody will have a product advantage. Somebody will have a location advantage. Somebody will have, there are different advantages offered by different builders. That is why all of them exist. So everybody gives, somebody gives value for money. So everything is there on the plate. The customer does not know. He only has one parameter: price. Who gives the lowest price? He goes and falls like, the Vittilpuchi Balakalavamari. The price is low, he falls. And then he cries. We have heard several cases. So I think as professional body, we must try to educate the customer, differentiate. It's not that saying, oh, you buy only from Padam or you buy only from Kumar. I'm not saying that. This is a bouquet available. This is what Padam is offering. This is what Kumar is offering. This is what somebody else is offering. And what are the differences? So the customers know you must like a member of his family, understand his needs. Suppose where is he working? Where is his children studying? Which is a good location for him? And then who are all the builders operating there? And what is the prices at which are? It's not just the price. What is the product they are offering? And what is the carpet area efficiency? The customers do not know. You will have to tell them what is the carpet area. What is that? Which stage of
maybe what we can do is we can create a kind of an interaction forum. If the fraternity is happy, it is like a car manufacturer and a dealership. Yes. We are more than happy to extend this relationship. Absolutely. But the dealer must come to the training class of the developer. Okay, and he must understand the product of the car. Then only the dealer can explain the car benefits to the buyer. Yes. So if you are in that mode, then I think it is a good partnership to look at. The minute you think I know better than the developer, this partnership will not work. Mm-hmm. We are more than happy to say we are dealer. Yes, the dealer manufacturer has a dealer meet, has an annual dealer meet. Whenever he calls all the dealers that this is a product, this is a benefit, this is a plus, this is a minus. So we should all talk in the same language. And if you are all ready on that, believe me, we both together have a fantastic future, and the customer will get convinced and confirmed that he knows where to buy. Today, Google World cannot answer the customer's question. Do you know that? Google World cannot answer, is it the right time to buy a house in Chennai? The Google is confused. The Google is confused. So CREDAI is the only answer. The developers of CREDAI is the only answer. And believe me, why I'm saying is we are not trying to say that we are trying to monopolize the whole thing. But yes, there is a background today. CREDAI is 20 years of existence. A body which is 20 years, and some of the developers are much older than CREDAI. For example, Naveen's more than 25 years. Am I, Mr. Naveen Kumar? Mr. Kumar, am I right? You are more than 25 years. Your organization is more than 25 years old.
31 years.
So there are 31 years. And Dugar is close to 28 years. So CREDAI is coming now. So we're talking about a matured place. We are more than happy to have all of you on board. We are not playing as two different football teams. Please remember this. Let us know private. Let us know after this talk how we can do together. We'll be more than happy on that.
Sir, last question. Is real estate recognized as an industry today? Please elaborate. Why not we contribute? Why not they recognize, even though we contribute around 33 to 35% of the GDP? This is from Mahalingam Krishnamurthy.
I think it is no more a rocket science. Everybody knows real estate is definitely, in this COVID especially, no people could be given jobs. The migrant laborers who went back would not be given jobs. And tomorrow overnight, if they come back, real estate can employ them overnight. There's no other industry can do that. We have been crying on this. We have been shouting loudly on this. We have been knocking every door from the government to the secretaries. We are still not able to get an answer on this. The banks are very much keen. We don't know the secret behind the curtains, why it is not being recognized. I don't know if Kumar can say on this. Yes, we are talking louder than this. Definitely recognizes this by helping us in getting funds available through the banking channels. Definitely the customer will get benefit out of it. This has been our long drawn prayer. With RERA in, with the market becoming very matured, we are continuously talking on this. I leave it to Kumar, and maybe he can add few points on this.
Yes, I would like to add with the RERA, advent of RERA. See, and earlier there was no kind of
regulation
mechanism for monitoring the activities of real estate. That was one reason government was always reluctant to recognize this as an industry body. Now with the advent of RERA, so there is a mechanism which is controlling and gathering data and all that. The government is now in control of this situation. So they can now declare this as an industry. So the situation is right. And one correction, real estate construction industry, we are not contributing 33%. The construction industry is contributing about 9% of the 9% of the GDP is huge, because there are thousands of industries operating, thousands of businesses operating, and several industries. So 9% is huge contribution. It can't be 33%. And real estate per se is contributing about 6% to the GDP, and we are contributing. The workforce is about 5.5 crores, 55 million employees under this, and most of them the bottom of the pyramid. After agriculture, the highest number of employment provider is the construction sector. Government, I know they are aware of this. I do not know why they are not interested in giving any. Probably they think they have given a lot and people are not availing. Let us not do anything more. Maybe people are at fault. Maybe we have not educated the people what are all the benefits which they can avail. So both ways it could be. But government is, I do not know for the reasons best known to them. Because world over, if housing is, they want to revive the economy, they go and incentivize the housing sector, investment in housing being encouraged. So the public will be welcome. They will be given all kinds of incentives, all kinds of schemes, so that they will invest money in housing. That will revive a chain reaction. The downstream industries and the upstream industries, the rippling effect of real estate is huge compared to any other industry. So in the interest of the government, I think real estate is their best bet. We do not know why that's not ringing bells in the government. Hope it will happen soon.
Thank you, sir. To summarize, Chennai has huge potential and poised for a major turnaround in development. Residential property prices are competitive and home loan rates are at an all-time low. So residential project launches are becoming less due to a combination of factors, and prices are bound to go up. So the timing is just appropriate for the first-time home buyers or for investors to just enter the market. Thank you very much. It's an honor to have you, sir. Over to Mr. Ramkumar.
Yeah, we have amongst us even Mr. Tarun Bhatia, President-elect NAR India, and we would want him to just address a little. Nazir, it would be nice.
Tarun Bhatia is from NCR, New Delhi, Association of Property Professionals, ABP, Delhi NCR, is a chairman and also president-elect of National Association of Realtors India. Tarun, welcome and say a few words.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Nasir. Thank you, Ram. Thank you, Prabhuji. It was a pleasure to be on this webinar for the last hour or so. Fantastic to hear Mr. Padam Dugar and Mr. Kumar, their perspective about real estate. So my knowledge about Chennai real estate is not that much because I'm based at Delhi NCR. But just to run some figures like Mr. Kumar was just mentioning, actually India's real estate is worth about $173 billion. And we contribute nearly 7% to the Indian GDP. And we also support about 250 related industries. And the sector contributes nearly $15 billion in taxes and duties. So in Delhi NCR, we have seen a reversal in trend. People actually are now coming out and they are taking the plunge of buying homes. The number of queries have definitely gone down, but the conversion ratio has gone up by at least 10 times. So in case we were getting 100 people on a weekend to a site and 5 of them were buying it, today we are only getting about maybe 30 of them on a weekend. But out of those 30, 10 people are taking the plunge. So the conversion ratio has gone up by leaps and bounds in Delhi NCR. One, because of the interest rates, as Mr. Kumar said, that it is a all-time low of 7%. In fact, in 2009, it was 10.5%. So the affordability has gone up, your loan eligibility has gone up, and your interest rates have come down. Apart from that, developers in Delhi, some of them are past leaders of CREDAI National. They are giving a lot of innovative schemes here. So at the moment, there's one scheme called 1090, where you pay 10% now, and the possession is 1 year down the line, and you pay 90% on possession. So the fare of an under construction property where one feels that the developer may or may not complete it, that subside is because your risk is only 10%, and 90 you are paying only on possession. Then they are giving a free look period. They are giving custom payment plans. They are also giving a rate guarantee that in case today we are selling you a property say at a crore, and tomorrow if the price reduces to 90, we guarantee that will not happen, because some people are on the fence saying that they will buy later because the prices may drop. So the developers are guaranteeing that whatever price we are selling it to you, we will not reduce it further than that. In case we do, you get that benefit. So that is also installing a lot of confidence in the buyers. Thirdly, as Mr. Duga was saying, in Delhi NCR, there's a very, very strong partnership between realtors and developers. We are actually the same team. We are like, we play, we devise the strategy jointly, and then we act on it. In fact, a developer called M3M, I don't know whether you guys know them or not in Chennai. So they are one of the largest developers in the country. They claim to be the second highest. I don't know how true is that. But yesterday they launched a scheme which is gonna go till about 15 of August, and they are spending about 23 crores on advertisement of that. They want to generate about 7.5 lakh leads, and their team cannot handle so many leads. So those leads are also being passed on to us. That why don't you also work on this lead with a commitment that we will be only marketing their product and not their rivals or anyone else. So yes, we have a very strong partnership, and I hope at Chennai also you guys are enjoying the same partnership. At NAR India, we are very, very passionate about working with CREDAI. And sir, it will be a pleasure if we can work closely together with CREDAI. Already we work in a lot of cities, whether it's Pune, Mumbai, Delhi, and Bangalore. I'm sure Chennai also, you guys are working closely. a lot of in the interest of time, I'll not take much. I'll not speak much. But yes, at NAR India, we are doing a lot of things for our members, including education. We have just launched a joint course with RICS to educate our members. We have just joined hands with MCHI Maharashtra, and we are working on a campaign called Save Real Estate, Save the Economy. And I'm sure in Chennai also you would have got those WhatsApps from our members, where we have doing a petition to the PMO and to the Ministry of Urban Housing and all.
Yeah, we did get that.
Yeah. So thank you very much for having me here, and it was a great learning experience for me. In case there are anything about Delhi NCR which I can answer, or anything about NAR India, it'll be my pleasure. Thank you, Ram. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you, Nazir. Thank you, Team APCC. And sir, Mr. Dugar and Mr. Kumar, it was a pleasure listening to you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We are waiting to look forward with open arms to APCC.
Yes.
And sir, one more thing. NRI demand has really gone up, at least in Delhi NCR. In fact, DLF, I'm sure you know DLF. They have a very premium property called DLF Camellias. They sold a property on a Zoom call. That property in Gurgaon is 27 crores, which is one of the highest in Gurgaon. Gurgaon is a satellite town of Delhi, so Delhi prices are higher. But in Gurgaon, selling a property on a Zoom call at 27 crores was unheard of. Although they have only got about 5% as booking amount, but still the commitment has been made by the buyer sitting abroad and closing the transaction on a Zoom call. So these are very positive things, at least for us here, that people are willing to sign on the dotted line. They're willing to take the plunge even on a Zoom call. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Nagarajan, if you can share Mr. Tarun's number, maybe we'll
sure.
interact with him more. Yeah.
Mr. Nazir.
Thank you, Tarun.
Thank you, sir. It's a great honor, sir, to have you with us. Thanks for all your support.
Good evening. On behalf of APPC committee webinar, I thank one and all. Dugarji and Kumar sir. Actually, the webinar was quite informative and gave us a couple of ideas. And I especially appreciate your optimism and stating the industry will bounce back. Actually, I agree, and only hope it's sooner rather than later. And Nagaraj sir, thank you for hosting the webinar. It was very informative, and actually you did a great job for us. Looking forward to many more. I hope all of you enjoyed. Any of your questions was not answered during the live event, or any question to be asked later, please, we plan to get back to you within the day or two. You can access our website or call our secretary. Thank you once again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nagarajan. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Very nice.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Take care. Take care. Be safe.
Looking forward to doing business together.
So we'll meet you shortly, sir, and we'll work, we'll work ways to partner better.
We are ready on Monday.
Sure, sir.
Oh,
We are there with you.
sir.
Great, sir.
Great, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Tarun.
Bye.
Thank you, Tarun.
Thank you, Tarun.
Thank you, Mr. Tarun.
Thank you, Mr. Dugar. Thank you, Ms. Kumar.
Thank you, Nazir.